Where were you when we spoke on the phone? Were you in Hawaii or something? You were somewhere, Puerto Rico. So,
he was so tan when we started shooting. It was very
He
inappropriate.
was. John was worried about that.
Frank had to deal with that, right? Tanned and pale. It was difficult for the lighting.
Make friends with the makeup people.
Yeah. It's so rare with a script that you get the people that you really see in the role. I mean, that's just it's very, very rare that it happens. And this was one of those things that came together slowly, but as it came together, it was like, it was meant to be. It was the right time. And nothing was pushed. And the great thing, strangely enough, about not having a distributor
you could say that
was
now.
that it's good to have one now, but at the time was that it left us in the position to massage it and to screen it for friends and get feedback and work on it slowly. And there wasn't it wasn't like we had to have it ready for a release date. And I think that's heaven.
Picking up on Aaron and Diane getting involved, and John talking about this idea of kind of being invisible and letting the performances really rise. Tell us about working on the set with this cast, and Miles, you should jump in as well. I mean, tell us about the dynamic and some of the ways you work together, either as a group or with John, and how that played out.
Say something, Miles.
Yeah, I'll take the reins here. Yeah, I mean, I got involved, I guess, fairly late. I had about 3 weeks or so before I was going to graduate college, and met John and did the callback. We worked through, I think, all the bench scenes at the callback, and then it's like, okay, you get cast, and Nicole, Frank, and myself and John met for like a lunch, and I mean, they were just talking about everything, like Lars von Trier and all of these things, and I'm trying to like act like I'm hungry and eating and just just listening to everything. And then once we got on set, everybody was just kind of clicking, and they're walking around the house, and it is their house, and Aaron's probably looking at me like, why is this kid in my house? And then and it was just, I mean, it was an incredible experience. I said I have a lot more trouble in scenes when it's just like very casual, and I'm supposed to be like nonchalant or or cool. So in these things, because there is so much there, it was
You're so not cool.
Right, I'm so just, he's cool, Jason's cool, man.
But he did just do the new Footloose.
Right.
He's an amazing dancer, actually. It's really good.
Yeah, so Diane was in Footloose.
Actually is cool.
There we go.
I'm back in the Pleistocene era. I'm surprised you know that.
Well, absolutely. I did the play in high school. So yeah, so it's wonderful for me.
Well, let me ask more specifically about working with John. Let me ask either John to comment or any of the actors really to talk about the process of working together. You've stated this idea of being sort of invisible. What does that mean to staging a scene? How do you where do you place yourself, and what kind of work were you doing with your cast in particular to achieve that level of invisibility, because clearly that's impossible.
Well, a lot of it was doing everything I could to lubricate the wheels, to get out of the way between the actor and the character and the moments they were portraying. And if Frank and I could find a way to lessen the stress, like reduce worrying about focus marks, reduce worrying about where the camera is. Oftentimes when you're doing fancy shots, dolly shots, the actors have to do millions of takes, and they, you burn out quickly, and it's, the Kubrick effect, which I can imagine. I mean, it's a whole lifetime. Nicole can speak to that, but when you're doing 50 takes, you have to pace yourself.
100.
100 takes. 100 takes. We were lucky if we got 5. We had a very short schedule.
Well, but the great thing about the red camera, which we were sort of resistant of at first, was that you could just shoot. You could keep shooting.
Keep rolling.
Keep rolling.
Never cut. Do it over.
That kind of helps. I found that I like working like that because it makes it, takes the performance out of it, you know. It was sort of, I sometimes don't even like hearing the word action because it puts me, and I learned that because when I work with horses, they were like, don't use the word action because horses suddenly start to perform. And I thought, well, we're the same.
I avoided action a lot. I think I just sort of said in your own time, or you know, whenever you're ready.
Yeah.
And you didn't really have to cut.
What do you think about that, Diane? I mean, do you like the word action, or do you?
It's true, we're no different than horses.
They're more like unicorns, though. They reside in rainbows. Don't mention the horn.